So Shakur, I mean, a lot of people have heard of Wayne Shakur, Tupac Shakur, Matul Shakur, Sada Shakur. Last time I saw you was at Sada Shakur's memorial a couple of weeks ago. What's the Shakur? What's the Shakur thing about?
Well, that's my daddy's name.
But deeper than that, what all these people tied to this Shakur thing.
Yeah, grateful to God. It is a, whether we like it or not, humans have always been kind of tribal, and that's our tribe, our family tribe of people that, from the movement, our group that was part of the movement. I didn't use the name because my mama didn't want me to, because my daddy was on FBI 10 more money.
Right.
And I had an option, and her thing was always my safety.
Right.
And, once I became grown, eventually I started using my Shakur name. I'm very proud of that name. It's very inspiring to people because they're familiar with different members of our family who has sacrificed for the people. And I'm very proud to carry that. We were both proud to carry that. Pop got teased, and like I said, Matul enrolled me in first grade as Matul Shakur. So I would get Matul cockle-a-doo-doo, Matul cockle-a-doo-doo. I got teased. It wasn't always fun. But I understand the relevance and the importance of the family name, and I just try to represent it.
I share you have.
I share.
And the book is a representation of that. If you haven't read the book, I just want to kind of throw that in a little. I'm not getting the proceeds from this, but no, it really represents the family legacy, the movement legacy, all of that, as well as Mo's as an individual. Speaking to that, Mo, you grew up in New York.
Yes, sir.
Which is considered the birth of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
And it shaped you. Can you give you talked about this in the book, what it was like growing up in New York during the time period you grew up, and how hip hop becomes influence in your life. It becomes your life, really. So can you talk about that some to the audience, share some of those thoughts?
I mean, not only New York, but Queens. Queens has been pivotal in the growth and the rise of hip hop. I was in Queens when Run DMC got on, and that was inspiring. With Run DMC, Suck MCs, that record right there changed my life. That record right there made me feel like I could do it. I had to do it. I loved it too much. I love percussion. It was, they from Queens, and over the years, different artists from different boroughs, everybody knows Brooklyn, Money Nigga Manhattan, everybody had this, but, Run and them came, LL, Coogee Rap, you know what I'm saying? So, I fell into that. I was inspired by that. And I aspired to be as good as the songs that I've been hearing on the radio. If I could be that good, I got a shot. And that's the trajectory I went in.
And you mentioned about your mom dealing with trying to protect you, particularly when your father was like one of FBI's 10 most wanted, picture all in the post office.
Mm-hmm.
And so you traveled back to North Carolina. And that was one thing about, I didn't know until I read the book. But how did that impact you moving back and forth between New York and North Carolina, particularly as you had aspirations to do hip hop?
It sucked. I mean, as a kid, I really enjoyed it. I was a little country boy running around with no shoes on, eating cantaloupe and watermelon, and no shirt on, just being free. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed that as a kid, but as I grew up, I wanted to be in New York. It was the birth of hip hop. You know, in summertime, it's where everything's going down. And my mother was very fearful of that. She was very fearful of me being in New York, growing up looking more and more like my father. And mind you, my mother was a 911 operator, working in one police plaza on the daily. Hearing these cops talk about my father and our family members, she would tell me that Maurice, they will kill you. They will hunt you down, they will kill you. She scared the shit out of me. So I listened to what she had to say, you know?
Man, so we talked about, and we shared a little bit, and I'll give you a chance to ask your questions too. We're not gonna stay here all night, because you know, they,
Don't hate.
well, no, Mopreme. I wasn't just gonna say nothing about the game.
I didn't say nothing.
I wasn't gonna say nothing about the game. Like I told Talia when she asked me, Mo's wife.
And co-writer, yeah.
And collaborator, a manager, all of that is here. But she asked me about the game tonight, and I said, well, you know, the game, they say 8:30, we don't really get started to
That's true.
8:45, 9, you're gonna be listening to Charles Barkley. Don't worry about it, but you talked about now, so you had this opportunity to perform or be, not perform, but to be on the album and in the video with Tony, number one top, now classic record. And you're in the Bay Area, you talk about being able to connect with a famous Shakur, sexual his sister and his mom, him, Tupac Shakur. Now, so Tupac around this time was 17, 16?
18.